In a small town in Australia, a family takes a break from their travels to fill up on gas for their RV. Peter forces his stepdaughter Bella and son Samuel to take a walk to stretch their legs. Bella goes to a local fair and meets Dennis, an artist who sells sketches. Bella is impressed with Dennis' work, but is thwarted when a police officer kicks Dennis out for not having a booth permit. Meanwhile, Vanessa meets her boyfriend Jackson and tells him she is pregnant. Jackson is very excited and shares the news with his teammates on the rugby team. Suddenly, a shriek rings in everyone's ears, and Vanessa realizes that it is coming from the car speakers and turns off the engine. In the evening, the rugby match starts and most of the people in town go to watch it. It is clear that there is tension between the players Jackson and Matt. Peter's family is still there as they can't find Bella, so Peter tells Samuel and his wife Jenny to wait in the RV while he looks around. Eventually, he finds Bella at a rugby match and scolds her for not spending time with her family, but Bella doesn't listen. Suddenly, the stadium loses power, explosions are heard in the distance, and colorful lights appear in the sky. As the yellow light gets closer, it reveals itself to be an alien ship and opens fire all over the small town. People panic and run, but not everyone manages to escape and casualties soon occur. Bella tries to run away but is knocked to the ground. Luckily, Matt's brother-in-law Marcus finds her and rushes to her aid. They barely manage to move and Marcus is left alone until Bella is found by her father. At this moment, the aliens themselves land on Earth and open fire on the townspeople. They walk on foot while the airborne ships continue to assist the people. They also grab some people and drag them away by their hair. Matt's wife Amelia sees her mother being kidnapped and wants to help her, but it's too dangerous, so Matt pulls her away to help Marcus. Some guys try to throw things at the alien, but random objects can't damage the armor and the alien just keeps shooting. The police also try to fire, but to no avail. As explosions go off everywhere, Bella and Peter reach the RV. Bella finds Marcus and his family hiding there and calls them over. As the group runs to hide in the RV, Peter becomes worried when Samuel and Jenny still haven't returned and considers going to look for them. However, Matt points out that they have to leave before they get killed. At the same time, a gunshot hits the roof of the mobile home, emphasizing his point. A car explodes nearby, and Amelia spots Jackson and Vanessa, so she calls them to also get in the RV while another team member is killed. Jackson goes back to check on his friend, but it's too late. Vanessa drags him away. Once everyone is in, Peter drives off, ignoring the bleeding person at the window. He has to avoid countless explosions, flames, running people, and collapsing stalls, but eventually the RV leaves the city and travels across the countryside. Soon a spaceship begins pursuing them, but fortunately the German Air Force eventually appears and shoots down the spaceship. Matt gets out of the RV to take a closer look, but doesn't find any body, meaning the craft was a drone. At that moment they are scared when they see a light coming towards them, but it is a truck carrying Arnold and Dennis who knows the hiding place. The cars drive off together and Dennis takes them to an abandoned sawmill in the woods. The group decides to settle in for the night and decide what to do the next morning. The next morning the group spots a huge spaceship parked above the area. There is some discussion on how to proceed further. It turns out that Peter was in prison for 7 years and was just released a month ago. Some of the boys try to leave, but when Matt says he's going into town to see if he can find his family, they agree to stay another day. Dennis and Amelia go into town with Matt and start looking for supplies. They quickly hide when a spaceship passes by. After it leaves, they go ahead and discover that the aliens are collecting all the prisoners they captured. The trio follow them and discover all the prisoners behind a laser gate that burns all people who touch it. Amelia asks about her mother and finds out that her mother has already been taken to the factory. At that moment, the alien appears, so the trio have to run away and hide in the tall grass as they watch a giant structure land in the city. Back at the house, the atmosphere becomes tense, so Peter reveals that he has a gun to calm everyone down. Just then, the trio comes back and explains that the aliens are taking the humans to their factory like livestock, suggesting that they are here to stay. Suddenly, they see a light outside and realize that the aliens are chasing the trio, who run back. Everyone rushes to safety as the alien arrives and begins searching the house. Peter fires in the back, but his bullets don't even damage the armor. As the alien tries to fight back, Matt attacks him and begins to fight after disarming him, but he is easily overpowered. Vanessa grabs the alien's gun and shoots him, saving Matt in the nick of time. At the same time, another alien reaches through the wall and grabs Dennis, attempting to strangle him. Arnold runs up to the alien and pulls on his arm, causing him to slam into a wall and Dennis to fall down along with the alien. The others come out and try to catch the alien, while they try to hit it, but the crowbar alone isn't enough. Peter asks them to stick their head out, and when the alien's neck is exposed, he shoots it, killing it. They then place the alien's body in the truck and Matt puts on the alien helmet. It turns out the helmet traps all living things, meaning that humans are essentially invisible when hiding amongst the plants. Those who know how to shoot teach the rest of the group how to shoot, allowing them to use the weapons of the 2 aliens they kill. The group hides in the woods, lying in wait for the aliens and firing from a distance, effectively thinning out their numbers. The more aliens they kill, the more weapons they collect, which they can use to attack and rescue containers full of human prisoners. Many of these survivors also join their fight, and a community is formed in the forest where people work together to survive. Over time, Bella falls in love with Dennis, but the giant spaceship never leaves the city. One day, the aliens poison the water, and the community is forced to relocate to higher ground. When the aliens discover the camp, everyone has already disappeared. The war with the aliens never ends, and although both sides often lose humans in the battles, the humans always endure thanks to their tactics of hiding amongst vegetation. Hoping to intimidate the aliens, the humans start displaying the heads of their fallen enemies on posts and hanging their corpses from trees. 8 months later, Amelia and Matt are running through the fields to escape the alien spaceship. Suddenly they hear a noise and discover a wounded woman named Chloe pointing a gun at them. They explain that they are here to help and reassure Chloe, and help Chloe share her experiences. The alien is conducting experiments on her and half of the prisoners, while the other half are forced to grow food for the aliens. Chloe steals a glowing device before they can escape, giving it to Amelia along with Matt's weapons. Just then, an alien reaches out through the plants and grabs Chloe, forcing the couple to flee. Another alien jumps out and grabs Matt by the neck, but since Matt wasn't wearing a helmet, Amelia is able to punch the alien in the face, causing him to drop to Matt. The two continue running and encounter the team again, who are preparing explosives at Matt. Soon the alien outpost explodes and humanity is victorious once again. Before the group departs, Amelia notices the aliens taking refuge amongst each other. The group then returns to camp and finds out that Jackson's team has captured the aliens who were brought as prisoners to get information. Peter and Amelia scold Bella and Marius for risking their lives just to catch the aliens, but the teens are tired of being treated like kids. When Matt tells them that the aliens are conducting human experiments, Peter becomes so enraged that he starts beating the prisoners, so the others have to stop him. Sometime later, Amelia shows the alien the device she received from Chloe. The alien's finger activates it, and a hologram appears detailing how the aliens have observed Earth for centuries. Suddenly, Matt turns off the device, and an annoyed Amelia storms out of the tent. Meanwhile, Dennis shows Bella that he will burn all his money because it has no value in today's world. Inspired by his philosophy, Bella also throws her phone into the fire. Dennis then gives her a portrait he took of her, and the two decide to find a private place to display it. Returning to Matt's story, he tells the others what he saw in the hologram, and Peter decides it's time to kill the prisoners. Jackson protests, believing he can be used for intelligence, but is simply ignored, and Peter, in an unleashed rage, bludgeons the alien to death. Moments later, Matt announces that he will return to the factory to rescue the remaining prisoners. Jackson leaves, but Vanessa wants him to stay, as their baby is about to be born. At the same time, Amelia leaves the camp alone and finds a farm where the aliens are breeding humans as slave labor. She sneaks in discreetly and steals some crops before fleeing into the woods, where she is blinded by the light. Returning to camp, Peter finds a drawing of Bella that Dennis had done and threatens Dennis as he is showing an interest in his daughter. The conversation is interrupted when Vanessa goes into labor, so Peter takes Vanessa to her tent while Dennis rushes off to pick up Jackson. He finds and informs the team, who quickly runs back. This gives away their position, and the aliens open fire on them. A gunfight ensues, and the human team tries to take cover, but many are quickly wounded, including Matt. Marcus refuses to give up and continues to fight back, buying time. A spaceship suddenly appears at the camp, thanks to a tracking device planted in the dead alien's armor. As fires break out and homes are destroyed and people start dying, Peter, Bella, and the other adults take Vanessa to the middle of the forest, where they leave her crying as she gives birth to her child. The survivors, believing this will attract the aliens' attention, grab a tool to stun Vanessa, but Peter stops him. The two men begin fighting in the mud, and after a lengthy battle, Peter kills the man. Meanwhile, Bella helps Vanessa give birth to a beautiful girl, whom she names Allison, before passing out. Bella realizes that Vanessa is losing a lot of blood, and Peter rushes to administer CPR, but it's too late and Vanessa dies from blood loss. Just then, the Australian military arrives and begins killing the aliens to save both Matt's team and the few survivors in the camp. Within minutes, soldiers have overrun the area and the people are safe. Jackson manages to reach the woods and, clinging to Vanessa's body, apologizes for not being there for her. The military then takes the survivors away in trucks. Major Davis explains that he came here because he heard there was a resistance group in the woods. Apparently Matt's team is considered heroes, giving the soldiers the motivation to keep fighting. When they arrive at the base, Matt is still unconscious and is left in the hospital. The others bury all the bodies and, after a minute of mourning, Peter announces that he wants to go back and look for Jenny and Samuel. Amelia stops him and promises to come to the factory later when she's ready. Davis overhears this and takes them to Colonel Grant, who tells them what he knows. The aliens have some kind of biological weapon, possibly a toxin or pathogen, designed to wipe out humanity. Intel says the weapon has been brought to Sydney and the military factory is planning an attack to retrieve it, but needs a diversion. Grant asks Amelia's group to accompany Davis to attack the factory as a diversion, which should go smoothly as they know the area. Most of the group agrees to help, but Jackson gives up. After saying goodbye to Matt, Amelia Davis joins and a few soldiers, as well as most of her team. Arnold wants to come with us, but can't because he has a broken arm. On their way to a small town inn, they encounter too many aliens patrolling the streets. They start fires to create smoke to hide, then they bypass the fields and hide among the crops. They soon come across a factory and see how people are forced to work outside. The woman attempts to escape, but is quickly shot dead. Peter finds Samuel and Jenny among the workers. Returning to the base, Grant receives disturbing news. There are more ships in Sydney than expected, so the Air Force is having difficulty fighting the aliens. Another report says the aliens are strengthening their fortifications within the city, and Grant realizes it was a trap all along. The weapon was never activated and is still within the city, waiting to be destroyed by the resistance. Grant tells Jackson everything and explains that they can't send any more soldiers because it would be a losing battle. In despair, Jackson runs to the infirmary and splashes water on Matt, informing him of the situation. Matt agrees that they will help, and before leaving, Jackson asks Arnold to watch over his daughter. After Jackson and Matt drive off, the soldiers see red smoke, which means the alien has found them. As the creature advances, a gunfight begins and anyone who dares to fight back is killed. At the same time, in the city, Davis's group runs through a farm, and the aliens open fire, starting a firefight there too. Amelia falls and is temporarily deafened, but seeing the others fighting gives her the motivation to press on. Hearing an explosion nearby, Matt worries about Amelia, but Jackson advises him that finding the bioweapon is their priority. The two sneak into the factory and quickly shoot the alien operating the control panel. As the prisoners panic, another alien opens fire on them, so Jackson fires back while Matt is trying to use the computer. He doesn't understand and ends up shooting the control panel before he can get the prisoners out. Jackson defeats the alien and plants explosives around the factory. Outside, Davis's team continues to fight the guards, but things get tricky when the aliens bring out a special cannon. Meanwhile, Matt encounters two more aliens. He shoots the first one but runs out of bullets and has to attack and defeat the other one. He then uses Chloe's device on the computer and finds out that the aliens left Earth because it became a wasteland. The bioweapon is placed on a table and Matt grabs it, only to be attacked by the awakened alien. Matt distracts him by threatening to destroy the bioweapon and again succeeds in defeating it. At that moment, the alien appears with several guards who can speak English and tells Matt to drop his gun. But Matt threatens to destroy it instead, so the guards stand down. The aliens tell him his people have learned from their mistakes and will not destroy other planets, which is exactly what humans are doing to Earth. At that moment, Jackson fires, distracting Matt and allowing them to escape. At the farm and base, people are overwhelmed and several are injured. Fortunately, they manage to call in reinforcements and the Air Force arrives just in time to retaliate. The spaceship is shot down, the aliens on the ground are bombed, and slowly hope returns that humans will win this battle. Davis seizes the opportunity to attack the alien with a cannon, but is quickly overpowered and thrown to the ground. This is enough of a target for the slaves to rise up and join the fight, even if they are unarmed. When chaos breaks out on the farm and the alien is distracted, Davis attacks the cannon and kills him. At the factory, Matt finds a hiding place and finds himself bleeding. He contacts Amelia using his radio and tells her that he will stop the alien with explosives, but that he will die in the process. Amelia cries and they exchange words of love before resuming the fight. At that moment, an alien is chasing him, so Matt shoots the alien to distract it before throwing the bioweapon at Jackson. Unfortunately, Jackson is shot down during the jump. With Vanessa gone, Jackson decides to detonate the explosives on, so Matt grabs the bioweapon and flees again. People continue to die all over the farm and military base. At the factory, Jackson shoots the aliens to buy Matt time and finally detonates the explosive device, causing a huge explosion in the factory. Seeing this, the aliens surrender, and Peter and Bella are finally able to reunite with Jenny and Samuel. Amelia and Marcus look at the explosion, crying, thinking that Matt is gone. Later, at the base, Grant announces that the team also won in Sydney, so humanity begins to reclaim some of its land. At that moment, Amelia witnesses the biological weapon passing through and discovers that Matt is alive. They have a warm reunion, but at the same time they have to tell Arnold and the baby that Jackson is gone. Matt tells Amelia what he saw on the computer, so Amelia goes to the alien captive and cuts the ropes on his hands. She then gives him her hand and says they will work together. The aliens agree to shake them, hoping for a better future for both races. Matt, Amelia, and most of the team then leave the town with their troops, preparing to continue the fight in other parts of the world. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.